remind you of? Anybody?
T.
A T, all right? And it's very clear that the letter T is there. Any other letters? Any other letters?
X.
C for crucifixion.
L, okay, all right. That's really what I want. I needed a T and I needed an L, all right? And so for T, we know that the Lord says what? Both letters are very relevant to our mission as a community because we have to have trust in the Lord and we have to love. Trust and love. And so every time we look at this cross, we need to think of what we are called to do in terms of our mission as a parish community. We are called to trust and we are called to love. And so, hopefully this week, this will be a reminder of who and what we are supposed to be. Both letters are relevant because Jesus, he's answering the disciples' question today, who is the greatest? And Jesus answers that in two parts. The first part, Jesus puts a little child in that circle. Remember a couple of weeks ago we were talking about the circle? And now that circle God's circle keeps getting bigger and more inclusive. And sometimes our circles get smaller and more exclusive. And so Jesus puts this child in the midst of this circle, and for all who were there listening that day, Jesus reminded them that in their culture, a child had no rank, no titles, were basically very insignificant, lacked no real accomplishments, and were without status or pretensions to greatness. And so Jesus reminds his followers that to live as a child is to live free, having an attitude of a child, an attitude of wonder, an attitude of faith, an attitude of simplicity, and not having to prove our worth to anyone. The only one we need to prove our worth to is the Lord himself. And we have to be able to be as vulnerable as a child, putting our trust in God every single day. So we can't put our trust just when we're in difficulties and in trouble, because then we're looking for Santa Claus. Okay? What we want to do is we want to put our trust in the Lord. And so when we look at that cross, Jesus has been telling us the last 2 weeks, we got to pick up our cross. We've got to carry that cross. So that carrying our cross means that we're going to trust. And so we trust God. We trust the presence of God in our daily lives. And if you look, when you're driving around, wherever you are, you'll see a lot of T's. You'll see T's in the window, in your windowsills. You'll see T's on the top of churches, naturally. You're going to see T's all over the place. Watch for those and remember who you are and what you're called to do. The second part, Jesus' answer, reminds us that power can easily go to our heads. He reminds us about the power of self-giving love, however. The L is large. Everywhere we look, we can see an L to remind us that real power is our ability to serve the least among us and to welcome without regard to the external measures we so often use. And so we need to be able to love without that self-centeredness within our lives, without the competition, without the conflict, without the bitter envy, without the jealousy, without the selfish ambition and the manipulation. All those things that James talks about today. The power to serve the least in our community. The least, the last, and the lost. And I need to tell you, you do that so well as a parish. Last week, over 800 pounds of food and clothing on a regular, ordinary Sunday were given to Catholic Charities and to Hope Outreach. our uniform drive, bishop's appeal, the mission appeal, the sister's religious retirement, all signs of being able to trust God and to be able to love. It gets tough, doesn't it? It really does. It gets tough to carry that cross, it gets tough to trust, and it gets tough to love. And so as a community here at Christ the Servant, the journey continues. There is glory ahead. I absolutely love this. That this glory of God is going to be found in the servant Christ among us. We are the servant Christ, the body of Christ. And we know that it is in our lives as servants that we will see the glory of God come. And when that glory comes, it will be.